Hello YouTube. I want to do a short video, and this video will be on buffing and using a buffer to polish knives with. I'm making this video in light of something that happened to one of the members of our knife making community, and I think there's a lot of wrong information going around about buffers, how to use them, or worse yet, no information at all. So I'm going to do this. I've been using this method since I was 18. I'm 68 now, so it's worked for me. It's safe. I've never got stuck. So let's examine this here, because this is kind of typical of what you'll see. This is my belt sander, and on the other end is a loose buff. I never ever use this to buff a knife with or polish it. This is more dangerous than those tools, that, or anything else in this shop. That's the most dangerous tool there is. Now, buffing a knife, if you do it correctly, doesn't have to be dangerous. It can be very safe. So let's examine some things. A lot of these run at too high a speed for the grease-based compound that you put on them anyway. What will happen when you apply the compound, and I'll start this here if I can for just a second, because my machine's temperamental. It runs too fast. You put your compound on there, and instead of staying, it should come off here, go on there as a powder. What happens if these shaft speeds are too high, it will melt this grease, it'll melt this, it'll gob up on here, and then every piece of little fleck of steel that comes off of it will embed itself in that grease and put scratches in what you're trying to polish. So that in and of itself is reason enough not to use these. You want a motor that turns about 1175 RPM, and that is the motor speed. I'll show you something here on my data plate. The belt speed is 3,600 feet per minute. Wheel speed is 1725. Now, I think this is a little faster than that. I know it goes fast enough to melt compound on that wheel. And in case you're wondering why this is on there, I actually use that to buff wood and some other things, big square chunks. So don't use that for steel, please. What I do like is you can find these at flea markets, junkyards, old electrical shops will have them. You can look online, look on Craigslist, but you can find them. This is the motor out of an old washing machine. Why do I like these? Well, for one thing, their shaft speed is 1175, so that out here you're going below that. At that speed, the compound that we use, sorry, I'm a one-man band here, but the compound we use will go on that wheel as a powder. That's how it was designed to be used. These are far less powerful. If you do jam your knife blade in these, you're not fighting near as much power, and the biggest plus of these is they have a clutch. And what will happen is you can, if you jam into it, the shaft will just stop. It'll release the clutch and the thing will stop spinning. Are they foolproof? No. But are they 1,000 times safer? Yes, they are. You can buy these spindle shafts, Home Depot, whatever country you're in, go to your hardware store, they'll have these to match whatever shaft you get. These are so much safer. And these are what I use. The reason I don't have one hooked up now is the old one I had burned up, and I'm setting up a new one. But that is the correct tool for the job, if you will. Your compound will work better, your wheels will polish a lot better, and you'll get a much better finish. The other thing, and we'll just use this wheel as a demonstration, when we're actually buffing a knife, and of course we're not using this high-speed, powerful thing, we're using our little washing machine motor. I never wear gloves, always with bare hands, so I can feel what I've got, have a good grip on it. I have both hands on it, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can set this down on this chair just for a second. And I'm going to have both hands locked on that handle like that. I'm going to have them where it just can't go anywhere. When I buff, I'm going to come in and present it, the wheel's turning this way. I'm going to present it to the middle like this, and I'm going to buff out. Here's my sharp edge. I'm never going to go into the wheel that way. I'm always going to come into the wheel and work away, in and work away. Turn it over to get the other side, in and work away, in and work away. If you follow that rule, if you run the slower, less powerful, far safer motors with a clutch that will stop, you're not gonna shouldn't have any problem. When you buff, please be sure that that's all you're doing. Don't have the TV going and be watching it in the distance if you've got a little set in your shop. Don't have a friend there and be talking with them. You stand with that buffer and you buff. That's all that's on your mind. If you have one, a heavy shop apron, a leather one, or multiple layers of cloth, something like that is really good. Don't sit like right here. Don't pull up your comfy chair and sit in front of this. You want to stand off to the side so that if something would come down, it's going to go to the floor. Down here, you want to stay out of that line. Stay away from the center line. It's just like a chainsaw. And again, I really don't want to scare people away from using a buffer because they can work extremely well if you have them on something like that. The second thing is, especially for beginners, don't use a loose buff like this. This is for wood. I use this on chunks of wood. I don't do knife blades on this. This is a sewn buff. This is much safer. This is what I use on here, and obviously you'll get the correct shaft size. You can buy spacers to fit this so that goes on there correctly, and you'll bolt that down good. But use a sewn buff, especially if you're starting out. Very much safer. Another good tool is right here. These are felt wheels. Those are actually good with a little compound to touch up your final edge, and they work really well too. But you can see even my big buffs, they're all sewn. These are the ones that I use for knife buffing. Anything with a sharp edge, anything with a point, stay away from that. Stay away from these. Use this. Less power, clutch. I bolt these down. As you can see, I just made these feet for it. I've got 4 on there. Screw it down, put the shaft on there, and you're good to go. I will try to make a separate video. Actually, once I get this remounted, I'll make a separate video and show you the proper way to present your blade into the buffer and how to make it work the way you should and keep your body out of the way of anything. That's it for now. So bottom line, that motor right there on that guy is way too powerful. That motor is way too powerful. Neither of them have a clutch. The big ones that they sell for these even, I'm sorry if I step on anyone's toes. I really don't care. They're dangerous. I don't use them. People don't like it. Well, I'm an old man. I don't care. You know, great for furniture, wood, all kinds of stuff, but not great for sharp objects or pointy objects. Use that guy. Take it easy, folks. Be safe, and we'll talk to you later.